So next topic is IAM roles. So where we are mostly discussing this type of names like roles. So in your organizations, right? So mostly they will ask what is your role? That means the designation wise you are doing some tasks on daily basis, right? So might be you are a VMware administrator, you are a Citrix administrator, you are a storage administrator, you are a network administrator, you are a backup and storage administrator, whatever it is. We have some couple of tasks will be assigned to you, right? So those tasks are you're doing perform on daily basis. So all your tasks are will be grouping together and they will be given as a title to you. So it's a kind of role. So we have a L1 admin role, L2 admin role, L3 admin role. So do you see this kind of name, kind of terms in your office? The roles, right? You have a team lead, you have a SME, subject matter expert. You are a senior engineer. You are engineer. Hmm? You are a programmer, you are a developer, you are a tester. So we have a kind of roles will be there. Same way, so in AWS, there are some tasks are we are performing by AWS programmer, not AWS admin, AWS programmer access. So these AWS roles we never used for with username and password login. So AWS username and password means, example, I currently logged in with the IAM user login, user one and password is Amazon at the rate 123. So that is not happening. That is not happening. Why? Any reason? So these IAM roles are dedicated to your access key and secret access key, access ID and the secret access key. With that we are accessing, that is called API access and the CLA access, which is connecting from another AWS account, which is connecting from another AWS account. So you are managing a services like EC2, Lambda, S3, RDS, auto scaling, etc. So mainly these are the services you are doing performing. So when why we are presenting the role, because of yesterday on the last class, okay, by using your access key and the secret key, we are connected S3 browser and we are creating a bucket on S3 service and we are deleting a buckets. Did you remember that topic? Except Srikant, Naresh and Helga. So did you remember the topic? Yesterday's class? Opening the browser, yes, and we have created a username and we have extracted the secret key, and by using that we are connected and create a bucket and delete the bucket. So again, that is meaning of role. Yes, that is the meaning of role, but actually that will be assigned to the particular work with the help of access key and secret key with a limited time of access. With a limited time of access. Example, the role is released for to do the task only 1 hour. So after 1 hour, your credentials will be expired. Your credentials will be expired. So for that reason, I think yesterday Helga asked the question, the secret ID. So why you are keep on changing? Huh? Why keep on changing that? Because if anyone was notifying that your keep access ID and secret key, they will destroy your information on AWS services. Understood? So what is meaning of access key and secret access key? You are managing a services. You are managing a services from externally. So that is a very crucial information, right? So for that reason, they will not allowing always from AWS. They will creating this type of access with the help of roles. The roles won't be applicable within short span of time. Short span of time, only the credentials will work. After that, the credential will be expired. So mostly, you are a developer. You are upgrading some applications to the next version, and there is a SQL application dependency is there. There's a SQL databases dependency is there, and how can I access your SQL data? So once you are SQL DB owner, then only you can perform your access to the server and you can perform your application upgrade. Otherwise, you cannot do it. And what we need to do? You have to send a request to SQL DBA team. Hey team, I'm Mahesh. I'm working on so and so development team, and currently I'm working on application development. So currently these are the versions are running on the production. I recently developed a new version of application. I want to test and installing on the server. This is a change number request. This is a change number request, and this is the project ID. So for your reference, can you please provide me access for today between this time, access only for me as a DB owner. So the DB owner, it will check set. If have any questions, they will ask to me. If they don't have any questions, they will directly access to DB owner with my name. They will add my name into the DB owner group in Active Directory, and he will send a message to me. Mahesh, your ID is part of now DB owner. Once your task is completed, please let me know. I will revoke the session. So this type of conversation we will see in with your other teams. And after my work, I'll send a message to the DB team. My work is completed. So then DB administrator, he will reply to that our group, Mahesh, your ID is revoked. So that means I will not do any action after that. So that is called within short span of time they will be provided. So that is normally in AD. So manually we are doing some tasks, but here there is a automated work we can do that. So once we are provided access, we have to set a limit of when we want to expire this access with the credentials, that we can do that. So let's go to the lab and we will perform this. Now in the left side we have a roles available. So this is the role screen, and now create a role. And what type of roles we have to perform? I think here Helga is asking a question. I think couple of days back I rested. I think Mahesh, did you teach federation services? Right? So yes, federation services will be teach here, but at present in IAM service also we skip that as part of our job. This will be continue upcoming classes. So whenever we teach Active Directory and when you understood about the DNS concepts, then we'll come back here and we will integrate the SAML 2.0 federation, and I will show you document how to prepare connectivity with your corporate directory. What is meaning of corporate directory? What is your corporate directory? Any idea? Corporate directory is nothing but your AD. So either you are using Windows Active Directory, or might be you are using Linux. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So either you are using Windows Active Directory, either you are using Linux NIST Network Information Service. Any one of these we are using directory for managing your user ID, managing computer information, so all these things. So at present I am not talking about that. I'll directly go by is a very basic information, and after that we will discuss some topic like so federation services or not. Okay, so mostly after 1 week of time, after 1 week of time. Okay, after 1 week or 10 days, don't worry. Now these are the two first, the two information, first two entities only I will discuss here. So AWS service. So AWS service means currently in my account, what are the services listed? All the services is managing here. This is called AWS service. And here is called another AWS account. So example, I'm not only using AWS account. There are so many people, they are also running AWS account. Even one company, they will run multiple AWS accounts. Any reason? Why we creating multiple AWS accounts? No, because of if project is, that's correct. That's Yes, so even the project is divided into two groups, so they will create two AWS IDs. And if those users, example, I created first AWS account, project 1, another AWS ID is created project 2. So project 2, one of the user wants to perform some actions on project 1. So what we'll do? I will take a project ID, that means AWS ID, and these are the two options I'll be enabling. So required external ID and required MFA ID. So these two things I'll explain later. So today only, don't worry. And first I'll come back to AWS service. So I'll first finish this, then I'll go back to this one. Okay. So AWS. So I want to perform EC2 service. Click on EC2. So click on EC2. And when you click on EC2, click on next permissions. Now here it will ask that, do you want to use any existing policies? Do you want to use any existing policies? Yes, I want to use existing policies like S3 admin, or might be EC2, right? EC2 full admin access. EC2 full access I am providing. Click on next. I don't want to use any tags and all. Next review. What is the name of this policy? Any idea? Policy EC2 full admin access. This is the policy name I'm created. Create a role. That's it. What's the difference? The same type of work I created in group, right? Same type of work only I created group. I created a group. The group is assigned one policy. Here I'm creating one role. I'm creating one role. I'm assigning one policy here. So what's the usage between the groups and roles? Anyone can tell me? The groups, yeah, you can. Yes, please. Yeah, mostly it's correct. Mostly whatever you said is correct. And main difference is the groups are managing within the AWS account. Any users are there, and those users are managing the policies with the groups. Okay, within the AWS. Out of the AWS account, there is a user is an another AWS account. He wants to connect to our services. They want to manage. What they will do? We'll create a policies, and the policy will be attached to the another AWS user ID. Another AWS user ID. So now we understood, right? So when we are using the role is a part of this AWS ID only, but we are managing with the from another AWS account users to manage our services. And this type of roles are not using for with the username and password. They'll use for access key and the access ID. Okay, and mostly they will use it for API access and command line access like that. So, and one more example I will take it. So this time, if you have any another AWS account, before going to another AWS account, so first we need to understand so external ID and required MFA ID. So I'll explain in this video, then you can understand. So every AWS account we have a AWS ID is that it's an account ID. You have to type that account ID and you have to check this option. So once you check this option, what will happen? So whatever the service you are providing here, whatever the services you are providing here, and we are providing access to from our directly managing our services. Helga, you have a AWS account, right? Can you please provide me your ID? Can you please ping me on the chat, Zoom chat? No, 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 only just a chat, Zoom chat. So only account ID. Yes, please. See here in this first line is clearly mentioned allows entities in other accounts to perform actions in this account. Okay, I'm yes, please. Please ping me that. Yeah. So this will be directly accessing to our services. Okay, based upon the policy type. Did you ping in WhatsApp? Okay, okay, okay. 512870049556. Right. So I just paste here. I have selected this option, external ID. Okay, required external ID. So the external ID best practice when third party will assume this role. So third party means I'm not doing anything. So mostly they will use it for API access and a CLI access. CLI access. So this is the options and mostly we can provide the required MFA. The MFA is a more secure, guys. MFA is a more secure. So for that reason, I want to explain what is meaning of MFA. Uh, so I want to install everyone in your phone Zoom software. Okay, Zoom software. Then we will start how to set up MFA. Okay, so now I'm creating a policy. I'm creating a policy like S3. I'm creating a policies like S3, and I'm providing access to Helga account. Helga, you can do any work on S3 service in my account. I'm giving an access to you, and I'm creating a permissions. I'm creating a permissions. So what level of permissions I want to provide? I'm providing a full access. I don't want to give any restricted. I'm giving full access to you. Click on next and next, and I'm providing this role name called role underscore S3 full admin role, full admin access. This is a role I created. That's it. This is a role I created. So when I click on the role S3 full admin access, okay, This is a maximum CLI API session duration. What is this? We have the time limit is available: 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, custom duration. Also, we can set that. So whenever she wants to perform any actions on S3 service, only within 1 hour only can do that activity. After that, the session will be terminated. But how she can access our services? How she can access our services? So the access of the services with the help of ARN. So this is a link she will be directly typing from her coding, and they will be pushing our to our services. She will be performing our job. Basically, we are not good at CLI, command line interface, and API interface. We are not a developer, we are administrators. Mostly this will be taken care by developer jobs. So even I don't have much knowledge about how to programming and developing some applications, pushing the code and all. I didn't work anywhere. Okay, so basically they will take the ARM. Okay, basically they will take the ARM. So we have a copy information also, profile information also is there. I'll show you that what is the information inside it. See, understood? This will be a URI, profile information, that will be also hide in option. So basically that's clearly mentioned. From your account you can directly access ARN colon AWS colon IAM colon colon. So this is my AD and role I'm providing to you. So when you copying this role I'm sending to you, and you can do your perform access with the command line interface, whatever the program you are running from your account, and that will be directly applying to my S3 services. I'm providing only S3. Okay, if you want, we can provide the managing that multiple services also. We can do that. S3, VPN, VPC, all the kind of services also can provide it based upon our job requirement. So, any questions on the rules? So we have a revoke sessions. Revoke sessions are example. Currently she is connecting on my services. Currently she is connecting on my services. I don't want to continue her sessions. So just click on revoke active sessions. That means what will happen? The session will be terminated. Whatever she connecting the session onto our services, that will be deleted automatically. So this code will be automatically generated when you creating a policy. When we creating a policy, automatically the policies have revoked active session code will be generated on the backend. So you can directly go to open the policy and can go to the last tab, revoke session, click on the revoke active sessions here. So whatever the sessions you established, it will be closed. Got it? Immediately, yes, immediately. Definitely. You example, you are running putty and you are connecting to one of the resources, and you are using S3 browser, you are connecting one of our bucket you are managing, and you are copying the data. So I am an administrator in my account, so I don't want to give access to you. So immediately I want to terminate the sessions. I want to terminate the sessions means I'll come here and I will kill these sessions. So immediately. So that means whatever you connecting the session with my account, so the sessions will be disconnected. Again you can connect it. Again you can connect it. There is no issue. If you don't want to give again access, if it again I don't want to give access, what you'll do? Either I want to delete the role, go back here. So delete the role here itself. Okay, otherwise you have to modify the rules. You have to modify the rule. So the policy, what are the policies you are giving, and you have to remove this immediately. So you don't want to access this again. Mostly it will not happen. Why we are using this revoke session means, example, you are a developer, Helga. Okay, you are developing some applications, and users are connecting on the applications on the back end. Okay, still they're connecting and they're doing from continuously for 8 hours job or 4 hours job, whatever the work they'll be doing that. And my manager is asking to do that. Hey, please, Mahesh, you can terminate the sessions. We don't want to provide the access to that any external sessions. So please terminate it immediately. So I'll come here and I'll revoke the sessions here directly. Click on this. That's it. So whatever it is, any active sessions you want to terminate from the services, you can use this. Very simple for that. Whatever any situation. After that, again you can connect it. No issues. If permanently you don't want, you can disable it. That means you can delete the role, or maybe you can remove the permissions on this role. Your wish. Good question. Good question. Hmm. I will give you my experience. I will give you my experience. So the revoke active sessions, any active sessions you can terminate. That's a very simple answer. I'll take my scenario. So in my organizations, all our Citrix applications will be developed by different application teams. Different applications teams. We have nearly 15 plus applications teams. We have more than 1500 applications are running in my account. 1500 accounts. 1500 applications are running. Right. So whenever a developer every month they're developing an application, and offline they will running a code, offline they will be generating a code, they will be developing a code. So once they're developing a code, they want to push the code on our servers. They want to push the code on our servers. So when we are pushing the code onto the servers, and that time our servers are in maintenance mode, our applications are in maintenance mode. What is meaning of maintenance mode means the users will not access the application, the users will not accept the application. Mostly this type of jobs we are doing in our half business hours, that means non-peak hours, or might be holidays, weekends. In that time only we are performing these actions. So mostly, if example there are 500 servers and the application is deploying, and all the servers, all 500 servers and applications in maintenance mode. So none of the user will not connected to the application. So from application wise and server wise, we are restricting to users to access application, the concept called maintenance mode. That's fine. If any active users is connecting on the server, what we will do, go to each and every server and we will check that any users are there, and we will terminate the session, or else we will use a PowerShell code, we will terminate the sessions. Now we understood the situation here from our perspective. Okay. Next, I inform to the developer, hey, please, you can push your code. So what they will do, I will be enable the policy. I'm enable the policy here. I'm enable the policy for 2 hours. Okay, I'm enable the policy for 2 hours. So the administrator, they will connect it to our services, and he will push the code. He will push the code. Actually, the job will only for 10 to 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. So previously application version is version 1. After the code is pushed onto the server, the version is changed. Definitely, right? So whenever you're developing a new application for existing one, the version will be differently changed. Like maybe version 2. So I tested one of the test server and the application is working fine. There is no issue. I worked for 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't notice any issues. And I'm informing to our users. I'm informing to our users. Can you please, you can use this application as usually. I'm removing the maintenance mode of the applications and servers. So now users are continuously working. But again, come back to the scenario. The role is open for how many hours? 2 hours. My job is finished within 1 hour. My job is finished within 1 hour. How many hours left? Still one more hour. That means the developer still continuously accessing our server next 1 hour. So he might have a chance to wrongly he will push the another code to the server. Understood? So what will happen if again he will be pushed the code to the server? The users is already connecting on the application. If wrongly, if you pushed any code to the server, the users will report any issues. Might be 500 servers, at least 10 to 15 users also reported. We will receive severity 1 ticket. That will be a production issue. So if a severity 1, I need to attend the call, I need to join the war room, I need to issue will be fixed it, and I want to write a RCA, root cause analysis. There's so much of work I need to do it. Because of after my work, I didn't terminate the sessions for a developer. Hmm. 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 See here, custom duration also we can set that, and mostly the policies will be once you enabled it, what you call the keys will be they deleted, right? The access key and access ID will be deleted, right? Automatically we are deleting, right, that key ID. We are not giving continuously, right? So whenever we are performing this access, that time only I'm generating the credentials. Otherwise I'm deleting after my work is deleted. Instant, yes, instant security. If you want security, you want to generate a instantly secure ID and access key, and you want to transfer this to by email, or might be you have a CyberArk. I think you are perfect in CyberArk. You will be adding the credentials to CyberArk. So they will open the CyberArk tool and they will copy the password and username. They will log into that. Yes, they will use it. Mostly we will use CyberArk. Understood? Even, yeah, yes. Hmm. 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 That's it. That's correct. Is that temporarily we are using. Temporarily. That's what we are clearly mentioning in the roles. Only short span of time only we are doing the activities. We are not continuously we are doing an activity. Because if I'm opening my main door, if someone will enter into my house and they'll theft my gold and cash my house. So my account is very safe. I don't want to give access to others. So once you creating a role means you are bypassing other persons to entering into your account. Okay. If you are deleting the role, no one cannot enter in your account until unless they know about the access ID and secret key. As of now, I created, so username and password will be very secured with the user. Okay. And the groups only within the users, within the AWS account only they can access. That also will be safe. The roles which we are creating, that you are allowing to other person to entering in your account. So how many hours you want to entering? Within very short span of time. Don't give for a long time, more than 4 hours or 8 hours. Once job is over, you have to revoke the sessions immediately. Don't leave it as this. Ah, no. Basically, here they will create a test user. They will create a external user instantly. Understood? They'll create one instantly. They will use one user. Example, um, ext ext user, and they will give programmatic access. And if they needed admin access, also they will provide. They will provide a custom. One minute. Let me finish my work. I'll answer your question. So I'm providing, these are the access also if you need it, I'll provide it from the user level. And next, review. So once user ID is created, create a user. I'll go to close here, and this is an external user, and go to, this is the security credentials. Here is the ID will be there. So once you make as inactive, make as inactive, the key will be cannot be accessed for a long time. That will be, even though you have a key for this ID, you cannot be accessed until you make it as active. You will be accessing to our services. So once our work is completed, so we have to follow the document and go to this, find this ID and make it as inactive. Got it? So even though we are not keep on creating a keys, until unless you forget the key, the secret key, you lost it. So at that time you will be deleting and you creating a new key. Understood? Yes, rules. That's what I'm telling. Example. I'm providing a S3 browser access. S3 browser access to you. You are connecting from your AWS account. So you're bypassing account from your account to my ID. So I'm providing these credentials. These credentials you will be entering in your code itself. Understood? In your code itself you are entering these credentials. When you're writing a 20 lines or 50 lines code, in that line we are writing a access to AWS account. Okay, AWS ID, what is the username, there's a access ID is a AKI something number, what is the secret access key, you have to type this. And you have to write some jobs. Hey, first you run this job, you have to copy this file, you have to run this file, you have to execute this file and close the line. And this is the way you are writing the code. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. See here, there is a one more option called SSH keys for AWS code commit. Upload SSH public keys also is there. So whenever your key will be generated, mostly will be in the format of when we are creating an ID, we are uploading a keys here. Okay, here we are uploading the keys. So when any public keys you want to access to our AWS account, so we will generating the code, generating the SSH public key access, and we are uploading here. Only those codes will be applied there. I'll show you in S3 account, in S3 service whenever I'm teaching, then I will generate one scenario and we will create an ID from your ID, Helga account, and you want to run some small program, that program will be applying on my account. Understood? At present, I would not able to explain more things because of that will be depending on to other services. So for that reason, any trainer, they will be teaching this IAM service end of this course. End of this course, they will be teaching. Even though you can check my course content, after a couple of services, they will be teaching IAM. Why I'm explaining in this area? So you will get more experience when I'm teaching S3, when I'm explaining VPC. So that area, we have some importance of users and groups, roles and policies you will be identifying. So for that reason, I'm telling that. So don't feel that at present, today, I'm not finishing this IAM service. Okay. You know, right, as of now I completed EC2. No, still I'm not completing EC2. Still there is some concepts in available in EC2. At the end of this course, all the services never closed it, so there is a depending to other services. AWS training is like that only. We will not go for one services we are teaching, that will not complete 100%. So it will depends to the another one. So let's take an example. Let's take an example. I'm